Roll, please.
Cedar,
Here.
Ellery,
Here.
Kinspotter.
Here.
Kleeman,
Here.
Kufa is absent. Laporte,
Here.
McCartney.
Here.
Motion to excuse member Kufa.
I'll support that.
Motion made, supported. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we will go to number 4. Consent agenda, City Council minutes of December 4th, 2017, regular and closed meetings. Recommendation approve.
So moved.
Questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. We have a very special presentation this evening. As I think most people are well aware, the Honorable Richard Jefferson has chosen to retire from his post as our Chief of Police. So we have a couple, have a certificate here and a beautiful plaque. Of course, before I do that, and I'm going to have you come up, Rick, and then you can say a few words, okay? Certainly, I'm going to lead this off with just, it's been a remarkable season with Rick Jefferson. He's really dedicated and really gave a lot to the city. We are very fortunate to have him in our group. He's very community-oriented, good, solid man. Great people skills. He's got a kind heart, and I could always sit down and talk with Rick about what's going on and know that everything was under control. Mitch Kufa could not be here tonight. He had to work, but he sent a little tidbit that he wanted me to read to you, so I'm going to do that right now, and then if anybody else wants to say some things, we can do that too. And then I'll get you your certificate and this beautiful plaque. So this is from Mitch, okay, but we all feel the same way. I've noticed you not only lead this department with smarts and brawn, but more important with passion and heart. You have wanted nothing more than the best for your men and women while giving the best for the city. I've learned a lot from you in regards to your department. I've always respected your opinion on city matters outside your department. Good luck on your future journeys. Enjoy your retirement. You, sir, have deserved it. Becky, we want to thank you. I know that this is just...
She deserves it.
Becky, I'm thanking you for a million things here, really, because not only have I worked with Jefferson, and I understand Rick, so I understand the challenges that you're met with.
I know, thank you, I appreciate that.
But the time, the dedication that you have, and you're a very supportive wife, and Rick's a lucky man.
Yes, I am.
Yes. So now, before you can say anything, I'll let anybody else that wants to kind of say anything.
I'd just like to thank him.
Thank you.
I would like to add a little bit. I'd like to add a little bit if I could. Sorry, Mike, I didn't mean to step over you. I was fortunate enough to be drafted in the St. Clair Special Police about the same time Rick was drafted. We were fortunate to serve under some of the best guys I think St. Clair had ever seen. When you go back to Elmer Shirkey and Red Frazier and John McDonald, and I'm talking John Jr. And Joe Gorzen was chief back then.
Yep.
We had Murphy and Mark Blake and a bunch of good guys that taught us quite a bit about what City of St. Clair was about and law enforcement. And some of us went on to go into reserve police officer training. And out of that bunch, Rick was hired as a full-time officer, and I've known him for all of those years. It goes back into the mid-'80s. And,
Yep.
been a good friend of mine, and it's a pleasure to have you as our chief.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Chief, just the years that I spent with you when I was on the fire department, the offshore association, and now with the city, it's been a pleasure to work with you. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. I started this back in 1978 in the specials, McCartney, Stallery, and some of us, and it's been a great ride. I can't say enough for the city. I think the city has been very supportive of the police department and fire department, for that matter, all these years, and I've had nothing but good times. It's been challenging times, but it's been great times. And some of the experience and the memories I really can't say here tonight, but there are good times. Most of them are good times. But coming up through the ranks and stuff, it's been a great, even John Cummins was on the council when I started here, and you're right, if it wasn't for my wife and family, I wouldn't have the support, and, you try not to be emotional, but it is, but I've had a great run, and I have nothing but the nicest thing to say about the city of St. Clair. I couldn't ask for a better employer, and I've been doing this for over 32 and a half years, plus 7 years on the special, so over 39 years serving the city of St. Clair in law enforcement, and it just comes to a time that I want to spend more time with my family and other endeavors, but I'm not out, I'm still around, and who knows where I'll come back, but I'm always going to support the city of St. Clair, and especially the city of St. Clair City Council, and with that, I appreciate all the support that I've had, and
You don't want to share any Halloween stories or anything?
I could, but that will be in the book that comes out. Especially Halloween.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
But, no, where do you go with this? It's just been great, and the city of St. Clair's been great to me and my family, and I appreciate all the support that I've had from the city council over all these years, and with the next chief, Raker, I'm sure he'll be a good leader to continue on, and I just want to thank you all very much for your support that you've done to me and my family, and it's time,
Yeah.
it's time, so thank you very, very much.
Now, before we go into this, I had Annette put this together for me, so I'm just going to give everybody a little history of Rick Jefferson. Just very short synopsis. 1978 to 1985, St. Clair Special Police Force. April of 1985, hired on as full-time as part of the St. Clair Police Department, sent to the Police Academy. He was the last one of the Special Police to be hired full-time.
Right.
Over the next 23 years, you became and promoted to sergeant and then captain. 2009, appointed police chief, and has been head of the department until December 14th, 2017, the retirement date. So, Mr. Jefferson, with this recognition given by the St. Clair City Council, in appreciation for your community commitment and dedication to the excellence of the city of St. Clair that you have shown for over 30 years of generous service to the St. Clair Police Department, on this 18th day of December, we here to declare that Richard Jefferson is going to retire.
Thank
Why don't
you.
you come up here? I'm going to give you this certificate. Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
Take that. This is your certificate.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Can we hug? Thank you.
Thank you again, Rick.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you. Thank you all.
All right, Rick, you're out. Raker, you're in. Who's that guy?
Who was that guy?
You gotta go?
Thank you all again very much.
Thank you, Rick. All right, we will go on to 6. Ordinances and resolutions. 6A, Resolution 1724, lot split, 601 St. Andrews. Annette, do you have anything on this? Or?
Included in your packet was information regarding a lot split. It's an even split of one parcel. The parcel numbers are written clearly stated on the resolution. The recommendation is to approve the lot split request by the owner of such property.
I'd make a motion to approve the lot split.
Support.
Any questions? Call the roll, please.
Report,
Yes.
McCartney?
Yes.
Ellery?
Yes.
Kinsfater?
Yes.
Kleeman?
Yes.
Cedar?
Yes.
Carried, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Go to be Resolution 1725, Local government approval for liquor license application, Planet Clair LLC.
Your Honor, I'd make the motion to approve the resolution.
I'll support.
All right, the motion's made and supported. Any questions?
That's just through the DDA, right?
Yeah. We have Paul Wade here if anybody has anything he wants to ask Paul, or call the roll.
Laporte,
Yes.
McCartney?
Yes.
Ellery?
Yes.
Kinsfater?
Yes.
Kleeman?
Yes.
Cedar?
Yes.
Carried, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. C, Resolution 1726, local government approval liquor license application, Drifters Restaurant and Lounge.
Motion to approve.
Support that, Your Honor.
All right, the motion's made and supported. Is any questions? I do have one question. Maybe, Paul, maybe you can answer this. Or not, I may have already asked you, I'm not recalling right now. Entertainment hours, 8 PM to 12:30 AM. Is that, just because that's the hours on here, they're not locked into those hours if it changes with the actual application?
Oh, thank you for asking that question. I had meant to advise council of a small edit on the application that would include business hours as needed for special events on there. That would then encompass, if something comes up, then their entertainment, liquor license would all be consistent.
So if we approve this, they're not locked into that 8 to 12:30?
Correct.
Okay, all right. Paul, is that?
At our DDA meeting, when we went through these, they had submitted what would be their normal hours of operation for selling liquor and that. And we just thought, there's special events that come up, and it looks like a lot of hours, but we wanted that included in this so that at the beginning, if anybody questioned it, things like the boat races and things like that would be covered under this. Doesn't mean they're gonna operate that way all the time, but it would be included there. And they wouldn't be held to it because this is still liquor license between the individual business and the Liquor Control Commission, so.
All right. The motion made and supported. Any other? All right,
You need an amendment on that or no?
No.
Okay.
Call the roll, please.
McCartney?
Yes.
Ellery?
Yes.
Kinsfater?
Yes.
Kleeman?
Yes.
Laporte?
Yes.
Cedar?
Yes.
Carried, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Paul, for all the work you did on those. All right, we'll go to 7A. Mr. Booth is absent tonight. Mr. Downey's absent. Annette, do you have anything?
Yes, I just wanted to mention the city offices closing schedule for the holiday season. City offices will be closed Monday and Tuesday, December 25th and 26th, and then again Monday and Tuesday, January 1st and January 2nd. The next city council meeting will be Wednesday, January 3rd, 2018. There will be no change to any garbage collection schedule, and that's it.
All right,
So it won't be delayed for a day then?
no.
Correct, it will not.
Thank you. D, authorities, boards, and commissions. Anybody have anything? We have no unfinished business. Number 9 is new business. Approve beautification 2018. Oh, I'm sorry.
Under city departments, can I just say something real quick?
Certainly.
First of all, thank you publicly for your confidence in me to follow Rick's in his footsteps, and I don't really think I'm replacing him. I'm just going to continue on. And then Mike wanted me to say something about snow emergencies. We just had one, so this time of year, I apparently call him. I can call him or Bob Beeth, and if there's 4 inches or more of snow or a forecast of that, I'll call one. I have an email right to all the TV stations, local and Detroit, newspapers, radios, and then I contact Paul with the TV here and Michael Port with the digital sign at the Voyager, and so we're covered. Just make sure you don't park on the streets. Call one
Okay, so 4 inches on the ground or forecasted.
or forecast.
And that's the hours between.
That's any. That could be noon. If there's 4, according to the ordinance. They got away from the, in 2008, you guys changed the ordinance from the snow parking to the snow emergency. Because it was, I guess there were complaints that people were getting tickets for parking in the street and it was 45 degrees and raining. So we decided when it snows, we'll call it. And then when the snow is cleared, either I can call it off, or if your block is plowed from curb to curb, then it ends. So the guys won't issue tickets if the road's plowed from curb to curb. So
Thank you.
All right.
All right, 9A, beautification 2018 flower order. Therese?
Thank you. We had the bid opening for the 2018 flower order on Tuesday, December 12th. We received only one bid, so that's why I didn't include a bid summary for you, other than on the memo. It is a returning vendor that we received the bid. It was from Croswell Greenhouse. They have done our flowers for the last 2 years. And there was no change to the hanging basket order, the cost. And there was a slight change to we also include in the bid the Rotary Club flower beds. There's 3 flower beds there along Rotary Park, along the Pine River. We did make some changes to quantity and flower selection, so that's why there's a difference there. But the hanging basket bid came in at $9,896. The Rotary Club, or the Rotary Park flower beds are $1,620, and then there's a cost for some fertilizer. So the total bid is $11,612. And we do solicit donations for the hanging basket program to cover most of the costs of those baskets.
I'd move to approve the bid as submitted.
All right, the motion's made and supported. Any questions?
I got one, Bill. How many letters did you send out?
We sent out 5.
Got one back.
Yes. My understanding is that there are, in our area, there's not a lot of greenhouses that can accommodate the number of baskets, the greenhouse for the storage and the planting of the baskets.
Anybody else?
One other one. Why don't we advertise in a paper for this, or anything, basically?
We did announce it at a city council meeting. It's been on the city website, and it's posted on the bulletin boards. So, and then we send out 5 direct mailings. So I think we meet the requirements, but
I was just curious, because I read the paper, I see a lot of people requesting bids in the paper, and I never see any from the city of St. Clair asking for bids. I mean, if you're not on the list, and you're not on the mailing list, and you don't go to the website, you don't know that we're looking for anything, basically.
Anything else? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
if I may, since this is a beautification commission project, I wanted to acknowledge that we did receive some year-end donations from the Community Foundation of St. Clair County. We received from the Whiting Foundation a donation to purchase 20 new hanging baskets. So we'll replace some of the wire baskets with it's a plastic basket that has a water reservoir in it, so it does save some time and has a lot of benefits for it. We also, from the DSLT Foundation, received money for additional lighting of the Christmas, or the trees at Rotary Park along the Pine River. And from the St. Clair Foundation, and also some matching funds from the Rotary Club, we received a donation to put in bricked raised beds for the flowers along Rotary Park, the 3 flower beds, and some of the picnic areas. We're going to put some brick raised beds in there. So I just wanted to acknowledge those donations at this time. Those are all beautification commission projects that we're continuing on.
Thank you. Do you stay right there for the next
Okay.
one? It's the Urban and Community Forestry Grant Program.
Let me change my memo here. Yes, on behalf of the City of St. Clair, we did submit a grant to the Michigan Department of Natural Resources for an urban and community forestry grant program, and we received notice that they approved our grant in the amount of $5,750. And as part of the grant, we estimated that we could purchase up to 20 trees that we can plant in the city. The grant will pay for the purchase of the trees, and our match that we provide will be used for the planting and reimbursements for some of the labor and wages. And some of the places that we selected of the trees were trees that were removed at Gregg Park, Vine Street, J Street, and there's one more. Can't think what it is. Why can't I think there? Oh, in the community center. by the Community Center and Historical Museum, and then some new plantings will be placed at Cargill Point. So the total amount of the grant is, again, $5,750. We're getting $2,750 from the state, and $3,000 is our local match, and that is within our general fund, our forestry and parks budget.
I make a motion to approve the grant.
Support.
All right, any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, Therese.
I did want to mention Mr. Beath, Bob Beath, the DPW, helped with the grant, and he will also help with the planting and the selection of the trees for the city.
Thank you. All right, we'll go to number 10, claims of the council, December 7, December 15, 2017.
No questions, Your Honor. I make a motion to approve.
Support.
Motion made, support. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
All right, let's go to number 11. Do you have any public questions and public comment this evening?
What's that?
Public comment?
Oh, is this general?
Yeah.
Yes.
Not the, what's on the agenda? Am I up then?
You're up.
You're up.
Okay. Takes me a while to get moving, but. For the record, my name is John Cummings. My address is 220 East Meldrum Circle in St. Clair. I've been a resident of the First Ward for 40-some years. I'm here tonight to talk about our charter. By way of background, the city of St. Clair, prior to January 1, 1980, operated under the Fourth Class Cities Act. In the mid-1970s, the legislature repealed the Fourth Class Cities Act, and it was effective January 1, 1980. Between, well, it was in the 60s, from 69 maybe to 72, there were two charters presented to the city of St. Clair, both of which ended in a tie. Believe it or not, by Butt Ripley, the tie twice. I was elected to the Charter Commission in November 1978, and I participated in the drafting of the present charter along with 9 others. That Charter Commission was chaired by Franklin Bennett, the rector of St. Paul's Episcopal Church, very capable and competent chairman. Jim McTevier was a vice chairman, I believe. We presented a charter to the city voters in 1978, or rather 79, and it was passed in the first ward, soundly defeated in the second and third wards. So I asked permission from the chairman if I could, excuse me, hold meetings to find out what happened. We thought it was a pretty sound charter. The mayor's term was extended to 4 years, and the city council would be the highest voter from each ward. We get a 4-year term, and the other would be a two-year term. That way it would rotate. And but I said it was soundly defeated in the second and third wards. Well, I held meetings in the first ward, and I think I had, excuse me, maybe 10 or 12 people show up. Fred Moore and his neighbors and whatnot, and their questions were just, how does this differ from the present charter? So I made the explanation for them. It was such a poor turnout for that meeting that I combined the second and third wards to have a meeting at the Old City Hall, the council chambers. Not much bigger than a phone booth, if you recall that. And I got there, wow. The that old hospital building was damn near full. Bill and Peggy Cedar had all their friends and political supporters there. And Kenny Kleeman had all the Third Ward people there. So we moved over to the community center. And they let me have it with both barrels at that meeting. I remember Bill Cedar saying at least a dozen times that old axiom, you don't fix what ain't broken, and meaning the council. So, and Kenny Kleeman echoed the same sentiments as Bill did. So I told him I would take their information back to the Charter Commission and we'll see what, and they wanted the integrity of the ward system protected as well. And so I promised them that I would take that back to the commission and see what we can do. And I don't know if it was Bill Cedar or Kenny Kleeman or maybe both of them said, if this charter's so damn good, why don't you run for mayor? Oh, that took the wind right out of my sails. And I made a commitment to them right then and there that I would, without consulting my law partners. And I didn't know if they were going to throw me out of the firm for doing that, because we were very busy. But anyway, I took that information back to the commission, and it was doctored up. I don't know, residency was there. I don't know if it was in the communication to the city clerk or the city clerk to the printers. The pressure was enormous, as you can imagine, because if we didn't have a charter in place January 1, 1980, under the Home Rule Cities Act, the governor would have appointed our council and our mayor until such time as a charter was enacted. So you can imagine the pressure that we were under, the printer was under, the city clerk was under, and Roy Rogansey was our counsel during our proceedings. So I just want, and I asked your city clerk to dig up the charter that was defeated and our documents, and she looked for several months and couldn't come up with anything. I was very disappointed because I know that should have been put with the other documents of the city for preservation. Maybe they're just misfiled, or maybe they're misplaced, or maybe they were never filed. I don't know. And I don't know whose error it was that the residency was not included. It could have been a printer, or it could have been the city clerk in the transmission of the image. I think some of that was done by voice because we didn't have time. As I recall, the ballots didn't get here for the absentee voters until about 2 weeks, maybe 10 days to 2 weeks before the election date. I don't know what the statute requires, but I know Carol Bourne was really after us to get it done. So I appreciate your giving me the opportunity to talk to you tonight about that. And because everything else, other than that one, I think it was a 2B or 3B or whatever it was. I don't know how that was not included, but it was. And I urge you to place that on the ballot, amending the charter to include that residency requirement. Because that was the will of the people 38 years ago, 39 years ago. And I don't know what the will of the people is today, but I know it was second and third wards, it was very important to them. So I just ask you to consider placing that on the ballot so there's no confusion in the future about it. Or maybe they might want to go to a general election. As I recall, the comments at that meeting with the second and third ward, they said, we don't want a situation here like there is in Port Huron, where all the council people were from the north end, the middle part of the city, and the southern part of the city were never represented. So that was one of the things that the people from the second and third ward brought to my attention. And another thing, it could have been perfect, but if we had included the term city manager rather than city superintendent, it would have been defeated again. They had an animus towards the term city manager. I don't know if it was because of Gerald Bouchard up in Port Huron, or in Marine City had a rapid turnover of city managers. And they said, oh, we'll just be a stepping stone for someone. Well, you can rest assured, it stayed city superintendent, no city manager. If you have any questions for me, I'd be delighted to answer them. You have to speak loud because I'm hearing impaired. So, but again, thank you. I urge you to amend the charter to include the residency requirement.
Well, number one, John, I want to question the people that sounds like you hung out with years ago. I don't know about their character.
Pardon?
The people you hung out with those back in the day? Some of those names you...
I got to get closer. I can't.
Get over here.
He's sitting two to the left of me right now.
What's that?
Well, I just jokingly, I questioned some of the people you hung out with back in the day.
Yeah, well, that was always suspect about me. Okay.
Number two, council is very aware of what the perceived ambiguity that is existing in the charter. We are going to have some work sessions, talk with our council, and we understand that we need to look at that and in some way, shape, or form make some sort of commitment to making it maybe more clear and direct.
Have you amended the charter in any way?
Have we?
Yeah.
We
Not on
tried
that
once.
issue.
Because the copy that you gave me did not call. The charter calls for meeting the elections on the odd years, and I see you're having it on the even years now.
We just got that from the Fed.
Huh?
That was a resolution in 2013 to change that. So it wasn't an ordinance amendment, it was a resolution that was passed. And you're correct, it's not in that copy that
Well,
I provided you.
I've spent 30, 40 years since I practiced law, but I know if you're going to deviate from the charter, it has to be by election. I don't know. It may be changed now. I don't know. I would suggest you have Mr. Downey look into that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay?
All right, thanks,
Thank
John.
you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
John.
That was a wonderful oration you gave there.
Yes.
I enjoyed that history lesson,
Thank you
seriously.
very much.
Yeah.
Merry
Thanks,
Christmas.
Butch. Thanks, Tom. Steve. Thank you.
All right. Anybody else? That's a tough act to follow, I know, but. All right, then we'll go to number 12, Mayor and Council. I do have just a couple of quick things. Number one, I guess I'll say that, a former mayor, Ray Galine, mayor for 4 years in the 70s, passed away. And maybe if you're not aware, just a little history lesson. Ray Galine was the president of the Progress Corporation, which was the impetus with the
Chamber.
What's that?
urban renewal. Ray Galine passed away?
Yes.
Yeah, and he was the president of the Progress Corporation, which was the urban renewal back in the late
Oh.
60s, yeah.
He was I succeeded Ray.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Also, I guess Annette covered everything about offices, dates, closings, trash pickup. And the council certainly wishes everyone a happy, safe, healthy, holidays. Anybody else have anything?
I think we can say Merry Christmas. I think we can say Merry Christmas.
Merry
now.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
I like the sound of that.
There you go, Goldie.
All right,
With Your Honor, I think it's a great finish. I make a motion to adjourn.
Support.
Support.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everyone. Be safe.